Constantine and Method, their mission and job.
Duke Rastislav, who was a ruler of Great Moravia at the time, was fully aware of the importance of Christianity in consolidation of the state. He was trying to build an individual Great Moravian Christian organization and wanted to gain independence from Eastern Frankish Empire. Bavarian monks that were preaching at the time would only do it in Latin. So, he asked Pope Nicholas to send him someone who was able to teach and spread Christianity and knowledge in local language. Unfortunately, he refused because he did not want to intervene to the preaching of Bavarian monks. After an unsuccessful attempt, he turned to get help from Byzantine Emperor Michael III. He was open to the idea and delegated the mission on brothers Constantine and Method. Constantine and Method were great adepts because they already knew Slavic language. The mission started in 863, and after almost 3 years, brothers laid base of Great Moravian Church, new writing and raised group of students.
Constantine and Method were also called Thessaloniki brothers because they came from the city Thessaloniki. They had noble and wealthy parents and 5 siblings. The oldest one was Method, born in 815, and the youngest Constantine. Method obtained law education in Thessaloniki. He entered monastery later in his life. Constantine, who was also called a philosopher, was a great philologist and a university professor. Before arriving to Great Moravia, Constantine assembled first Slavic language, Glagolitic, which came from the word glagol, which means word. It had 38 graphic signs. Shapes of letters were made out of 3 Christian symbols: cross, equilateral triangle, and circle. The oldest monument in Glagolitics are Kiev Missal. This was the base of Slavic culture and literature. French priests, however, accused the Paris on the papal court, and they had to defend their teachings in Rome in front of Pope. They took relics of Saint Clements as a gift with them. Before they managed to arrive to Rome, they had to debate with priests who claimed that it could be preached only in 3 languages: Greek, Latin, and Hebrew. The trip to Rome was a success because the brothers defended their teachings and Pope Adrian II gave the authorization to use Slavic liturgy. Unfortunately, Constantine didn't leave Rome because he fell ill and entered a monastery where he received his religious name Kyrillos. He died on February 14, 869, and he was buried in the Basilica of Saint Clement in Rome.
During the reign of Svetopluk, who acknowledged the sovereignty of the Frankian Empire, the situation changed. French priests, persecuting Method, did not let him teach in the Slavic language and were imprisoning him. In order to protect his church, he chose Gorazd as his successor, the home magnate. Method died in 885. He was buried ceremoniously in Episcopal Cathedral. Pope Stephen V, however, banned the Slavic worship in the same year Method had died. The persecution of the Slavic priests began, and this led to their departure from Great Moravia. Conclusion: Constantine and Method brought Christianity into Great Moravia. They created Glagolitics, the first ever Slavic writing. Important literary documents have been preserved, translation of Biblia into Slavic. They created the first civil code of Great Moravia, which was the first civil code in Slavic. Saints Constantine and Method were among the greatest missionaries of Christianity. Their activities affected the whole of Eastern Europe. Therefore, Pope John Paul II, on December 31st, 1980, proclaimed them and Saint Benedict as a co-patron of Europe.
Has someone